The invisible killers, how energy assassins hijack your spiritual power without you noticing. This journey begins where most people's awareness ends, in the invisible realm. Because let's be real, most people think that spiritual evolution is only about light, love, healing, and alignment. But what they don't realize is that the higher you rise in consciousness, the more targeted you become. Not just by external forces, but by subtle, silent, and often seductive energies that don't come to teach you, they come to drain you. These are the assassins of your energy. The ones that don't stab you in the heart, they leak you from the soul. And if you don't know how to see them, name them, and neutralize them, they will steal your gifts before you ever activate your purpose.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
We call them energy assassins not to be dramatic, but because that's exactly what they are. They don't show up as threats. They show up as patterns, people, habits, thoughts, agreements. And they don't break you with force. They erode you through repetition. They don't kill your body. They murder your vibration. And everyone walking a spiritual path, especially those who carry ancient gifts, hidden codes, and soul contracts, must face these 7 assassins. Not to fear them, but to transcend them. Because every assassin you survive becomes a gate you now have the authority to guide others through. The first assassin is one we all face, and few want to admit. Energy Assassin 1, the guilt loop. You know it. It shows up every time you try to say no. Every time you try to protect your boundaries. Every time you choose peace over pleasing others. It whispers things like, you're being selfish, you're abandoning them, you're not being spiritual enough. But let me tell you something that might change everything. Guilt is not a signal of truth, it's a signal of programming. And that programming is ancient, generational, religious, cultural. And if you don't confront it, it will keep you stuck in cycles of service that drain your essence. You'll keep pouring from a cracked cup, thinking that's love when really, it's self-abandonment disguised as compassion. You must ask yourself, who benefits from your guilt? Who gets to stay fed while you stay empty? Because guilt is one of the most effective tools of energetic submission. It doesn't need to overpower you, it only needs to convince you that your own boundaries are wrong. And once that seed is planted, the assassin doesn't need to do anything else. You'll drain yourself. You'll betray your intuition. You'll keep saying yes when your soul is screaming no. And that's how the sacred dies, not in fire, but in emotional erosion. To transcend the guilt loop, you must begin to treat no as holy. You must see boundaries as portals. You must understand that your energy is not owed, it's offered, and only when aligned. The second assassin is more subtle, but even more common. Energy Assassin 2, the comparison virus. This one doesn't come with guilt. It comes with insecurity disguised as inspiration. You start your day feeling aligned, confident, clear. Then you scroll. You see someone else doing what you want to do, speaking your language, living your dream timeline. And suddenly your vibration drops. Not because you're jealous, but because some part of you believes the lie that there's not enough room for both of you. that someone else's light dims yours, that if they got there first, you're too late. But here's the truth. Comparison is the assassin of divine timing. It disconnects you from your own rhythm. It hijacks your spiritual GPS. It makes you chase timelines that were never meant for you. You must remember, someone else's path is not your competition, it's your confirmation. Their success is proof that the frequency exists. Your resonance with it is not a threat. It's a reminder. And the moment you stop comparing, you start channeling. You return to your own sacred pace. And in that pace, miracles happen. Downloads land. Opportunities align. You no longer chase what's already yours. You remember that the only competition is between your current self and your highest potential. And that's a battle you win by going inward, not outward. The third assassin is a master of disguise, Energy Assassin 3, the overthinking demon. This one doesn't wear a mask. It becomes your voice. It sounds like you, feels like you. But it's not you. It's the parasite of excessive logic that feeds on your intuition. It's the voice that says, you need more time. You're not ready. Are you sure this is the right move? It turns every intuitive nudge into an intellectual war. And while you're busy thinking, the opportunity passes. The energy window closes. The portal shuts. Because here's the most terrifying truth. Overthinking is how the soul delays destiny. Not because it's foolish, but because it's afraid of the unknown. But here's what they never taught you. Your intuition doesn't speak in paragraphs. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't argue. It knows. And when you overthink, you're not being wise, you're trying to control what's meant to be surrendered to. To kill this assassin, you must start trusting the first nudge. You must learn to move before you're ready. You must rewire your nervous system to equate action with safety, not just analysis. You must remember that some of the most sacred moves in your life will make no sense to your mind, but perfect sense to your soul. And if you wait until everything is clear, you'll miss the mystery you were meant to walk into. The fourth assassin is the most addictive of all, Energy Assassin 4, the dopamine trap. It's the constant scrolling, the short-form content, the endless consumption, the illusion of progress. You think you're learning. You think you're connecting. But you're just stimulating yourself into spiritual sedation. This assassin doesn't just lower your vibration, it fragments it. You can't hear your higher self because your mind is filled with noise. You can't download clarity because your nervous system is addicted to distraction. This is not just about social media, it's about your relationship with stillness. Because in stillness, the truth gets loud. And most people don't want to hear what their soul has been trying to say. So I ask you, when was the last time you sat in silence, not to meditate, not to be productive, but just to listen? No music, no phone, no agenda, just you and the frequency of your own field. That's where the codes are. That's where the guidance lives. That's where your next move is waiting. And if you can't access it, It's not because you're blocked, it's because your attention is being hijacked every 10 seconds by digital crack. Dopamine is not evil, but when it becomes your god, you forget how to receive from the divine. And that's how the assassin wins, not by taking your energy, but by trading it for cheap stimulation. In the next part, we'll go even deeper. The final 3 assassins are the deadliest. They don't just drain your energy, they alter your spiritual identity. They come as relationships, inner wounds, and distorted missions. And if you don't face them, they will reroute your entire timeline. But once you see them, you'll gain the power to not only survive, but to command your field like a spiritual architect. The Timeline Thieves, how the final 3 assassins hijack your destiny and how to take it back. Now we enter the deepest layer, the realm where energy assassins don't just drain your day, but rewrite your divine timeline. These are the most dangerous ones, not because they're more powerful than you, but because they disguise themselves as purpose, loyalty, or love. You don't see them coming because they wear the masks of things you once prayed for. But beneath their surface is spiritual sabotage. And if you don't recognize them, they won't just block your path, they'll reroute your entire journey into a life that looks good on the outside, but is spiritually bankrupt on the inside. These final 3 assassins are not distractions. They are decoys. And they don't want your attention, they want your destiny. Energy Assassin 5, the false mission. This is one of the most seductive traps for awakened beings. It shows up as a path that feels almost right, a calling that looks legitimate, a purpose that gets applause. But if you listen closer, there's a hollowness to it, a subtle drain, a lack of soul resonance. You're building something that's spiritual, but it's not you. It's built on external validation, mimicked values, or borrowed blueprints. And the more successful it becomes, the further you drift from your true assignment. The false mission assassin is dangerous because it feeds your ego while starving your essence. You become a character in your own illusion, stuck in a timeline that's glittering but not golden. Here's the question you must ask yourself: am I building a path that truly reflects my soul, or one that pleases the spiritual marketplace? You have to be willing to burn what no longer aligns, even if it once felt sacred, even if people are clapping, because your real mission will not always be popular, profitable, or pretty. It will be true, and truth has gravity. It magnetizes the right people, places, and portals. But you can't access it if you're still married to a version of your purpose that no longer fits your frequency. You must be willing to press reset, or to go silent, to lose momentum in order to gain alignment. Because your mission is not a performance. It's a pulse. And when it beats, you will know. Energy Assassin 6, the Soul Leech. This one doesn't just drain your energy, it feeds off your light. It shows up as a person who claims to love you, understand you, need you. They often come into your life when you're expanding. And at first, it feels like a divine connection. But over time, you start to feel tired and confused, anxious. You begin to question your intuition, your gifts, your worth. That's because this person isn't pouring into you, they're mirroring your light while feeding off your frequency. They don't want to rise with you. They want to ride you. They're not consciously evil, but they are spiritually parasitic. And here's the hardest truth. You cannot heal someone who is committed to feeding off your energy. You can love them. You can pray for them. But you must release them. Because if you don't, they will drag you into a karmic loop where your soul becomes their battery. And the more you try to save them, the more you leak your own divinity. The key to defeating this assassin is radical energetic sovereignty. Detach with love. Reclaim your field. And remember, your frequency is a sacred flame. It's not meant to be shared with those who only show up to warm their hands but never tend the fire with you. Energy Assassin 7, the Inner Doubt Entity. This is the final boss. The one that doesn't come from the outside. It lives inside your own voice. It's ancient. It speaks in your tone, uses your memories, and knows your weak spots. It says you're not ready. You're not worthy. Who do you think you are? This isn't just insecurity, it's the energetic residue of lifetimes where your power was punished. It's the echo of past timelines where you were silenced, burned, betrayed for carrying spiritual truth. And now, even in this life, when you try to rise, this entity awakens inside you not to destroy you, but to test your loyalty to yourself. So I ask you, are you willing to believe in your power, even when your own mind turns against you? Because that's what it takes. You must learn to speak back. To say, I hear you, but I no longer serve that fear. You must create rituals that reprogram your field. You must surround yourself with people who reflect your divinity, not your doubt. And most importantly, you must act anyway. Action is the exorcism. Every time you move in truth, the entity loses power. Every time you reclaim your voice, your presence, your mission, it shrinks. Until eventually it transforms. From an assassin into an ally. Because even your inner doubt was never there to destroy you. It was there to forge your conviction. In the final part, we go to the end game. You've seen the assassins. You've survived the sabotage. Now it's time to learn how to armor your field, upgrade your nervous system, and move through the world as someone who is unleakable, unshakable, and divinely protected. We'll show you how to become what I call an energetic fortress, a human who walks like prophecy, speaks like lightning, and no longer negotiates with energy that doesn't belong in your field. The energetic fortress, how to become untouchable to energy assassins and walk in unstoppable power. Now that you've seen the faces of your assassins, some outer, some inner, you're no longer just a spiritual seeker. You're a spiritual warrior. And warriors don't just fight, they fortify. They build temples within themselves that no energy can breach. They walk with clarity, they choose with precision, and most importantly, they know when to open and when to seal their field. This final part is your upgrade. It's the download that turns you from someone who reacts to energy into someone who commands it. Because let's be honest, in this world, it's not just about awakening, it's about protecting what you've awakened into. And that requires becoming an energetic fortress. Let's begin here. Your energy field is not passive. It's not a sponge. It's a living architecture. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you make is either reinforcing or dissolving the structure of your field. And most people are leaking energy, not because they're weak, but because they've never been taught how to hold their own power. They walk through life with open tabs, conversations they shouldn't have had, agreements they never revoked, relationships they should have ended. Every one of those is a doorway. And energy assassins? They don't kick down doors, they slip through the cracks. So the first step to becoming untouchable? Close the doors. Audit your life with sacred ruthlessness. Ask yourself right now, where am I still accessible to energy I've already outgrown? The second layer of your fortress is your nervous system. A lot of spiritual people try to ascend without integrating the body. Big mistake. If your body can't hold the frequency of your soul, you'll short circuit. You'll get overwhelmed, burnt out, or worse, you'll reject your own expansion because your system interprets it as danger. That's why every energy upgrade must be matched by somatic anchoring. Breathwork, cold exposure, movement, silence. These are not trends, they are technologies of protection. Because when your nervous system is calm, your field is clear. And when your field is clear, you become unreadable to lower frequencies. Energetic parasites can't find you not because you're hiding, but because you're no longer vibrating in a way they can hook into. The third layer is discernment disguised as intuition. People talk about intuition like it's a magical feeling. But true spiritual intuition is disciplined. It's not just good vibes, it's the ability to read subtle resonance, to walk into a room and feel the undercurrent of truth, to hear someone speak and sense the distortion in their frequency. This is not paranoia. This is energetic intelligence. And once you cultivate it, you stop needing signs. You stop needing confirmations. You know. And when you know, you don't ask for permission. You don't wait to be validated. You don't second guess your exits. You move, you cut, you shift. And that movement, that clarity, that's what makes you unassailable. But the deepest layer, the one that makes you untouchable, is your energetic self-worth. This isn't self-esteem. This isn't confidence. This is the non-negotiable knowing that your energy is sacred currency, that your presence shifts timelines, is that your words carry codes, that your very existence is a divine disruption to the matrix. And when you know that, you stop giving yourself away. You stop over-explaining. You stop offering your light to people who won't even look you in the eyes. You realize that your yes is a portal, and not everyone deserves to walk through it. Your no becomes holy. Your silence becomes a sword. And your boundaries, they stop being fences. They become force fields. Now I'll leave you with this final transmission. It's not a quote. It's not a feel-good mantra. It's a question, a soul-rattling one. What version of you would rise if you stopped giving your energy to people, patterns, and portals that no longer match your future? Think about it. Feel it. Let it burn through the illusions. Because that version of you, the one who walks in total energetic clarity, who moves with inner protection, who no longer negotiates with assassins. That version of you is not waiting in the future. That version is here, right now, on the other side of a decision. And the moment you choose to stop leaking, you start leading, not from ego, but from energetic embodiment. You've now seen every assassin. You've been given the blueprint, and the next move is yours. Will you keep leaking, or will you fortify your field and become the force you were always meant to be? If this activated something inside you, don't just like it. Don't just share it. Live it. Be the energetic fortress. Be the one who others feel and say, I don't know what they have, but it's real. Because when you walk like that, you don't just survive the assassins. You become the architect of timelines they can never touch.